Welcome to DDReg Knowledge Capsule. Today we're taking a deep dive into an exciting and really rapidly evolving area of healthcare technology, software as a medical device, or SAMD. Our mission for this deep dive is to unpack what SAMMD is, how it's regulated, look at the unique challenges it faces, and importantly, its incredible potential to truly transform healthcare as we know it.
Yeah, and this isn't about some, far-off future tech or obscure equipment. What's really fascinating here is that we could be talking about apps literally on your smartphone or tablet right now, things that directly impact how you receive healthcare. So understanding this space, it's becoming absolutely crucial, really, not just for developers, but for all of us.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because when most of us hear medical device, our minds immediately jump to something physical, right? Like a big MRI scanner or a surgical tool, maybe even wearables. But we're here talking about SAMD. So what exactly is software as a medical device? What's the core idea, the fundamental distinction?
That's a really critical question because that distinction, well, it shapes the whole ecosystem. The International Medical Device Regulators Forum, the IMDRF.
Ah, the global group. Yeah.
Exactly, that's them. They're the ones who provide this sort of foundational definition. They basically describe SAMD as software intended to be used for one or more medical purposes that perform these purposes without being part of a hardware medical device.
Okay, so let me see if I've got this straight. It's software, it has a real medical purpose, but crucially, it doesn't need to be baked into or essential for a specific piece of, let's say, dedicated medical hardware to actually work. And our sources mentioned the FDA aligns with this too, right? Saying SAMD can run on general platforms like smartphones or tablets.
That's absolutely right, and that's the key, that independence.
How does that independence change the game for accessibility?
Well, that's the differentiator, and that's why SAMD is, frankly, so revolutionary. Because it doesn't need that specific, often expensive medical hardware. It uses the devices many of us already carry around. Think about it. A powerful diagnostic tool, maybe previously only on a huge machine in a clinic. Suddenly, it could be accessible via an app on a standard tablet, maybe for a fraction of the cost. This independence affects everything: how fast products are developed, how they're updated, how widely they get distributed, and how they integrate into healthcare. It makes advanced medical insights potentially available anywhere, remote places, even just home care.
That really paints a clear picture. It sounds like a sort of democratization of certain medical capabilities. But then, if these powerful tools are running on our everyday devices, what does that mean for regulating them? How do bodies like the FDA make sure they're safe and effective without, well, killing the innovation you just described? Sounds tricky.
It absolutely is tricky, a real tightrope walk, and that's where the regulatory landscape gets particularly complex. And fascinating, SAMMD is subject to stringent regulatory oversight, primarily by the FDA here in the U.S. And these regulations are largely aligned with those IMDRF guidelines globally. The FDA focuses heavily on safety and effectiveness naturally. They have specific guidance for things like clinical evaluation and how to categorize the risk of a SAMD product. They're essentially trying to fit these nimble software solutions into frameworks often built for, slower-moving physical hardware.
And the IMDRF, that global body you mentioned, they have their own framework too. Are they trying to create a common language for risk?
Precisely. The IMDRF has proposed a really comprehensive risk classification framework just for SAMD. It looks at two key things. First, the significance of the information the SAMD provides. How critical is it? Is it for diagnosis, treatment, or maybe just wellness? And second, the state of the healthcare situation it's used for. Is it a life-threatening condition? Critical. Or non-serious. These two factors together help determine the level of regulatory control needed.
So like a diagnostic app for cancer would be treated very differently from a step counter.
Exactly. SAMD providing diagnostic info for a life-threatening condition faces much, much stricter controls. More rigorous clinical data needed versus one for general wellness tracking.
Okay, so the IMDRF provides this global framework. How does that map onto the FDA's system here in the U.S.? Our source mentioned a risk-based classification?
Yes, here in the U.S., the FDA uses a familiar risk-based system, much like for traditional devices. Class 1, Class 2, or Class 3. Class 1 is low risk. Think general wellness apps, maybe. Class 2 is moderate risk. A lot of diagnostic imaging software might fall here. And Class 3 is the highest risk. Things that might be life-sustaining, implantable, or just critically important in preventing serious harm. And the level of scrutiny, pre-market reviews, post-market surveillance, it ramps up significantly with each class.
It sounds like there's a real push for consistency, a universal language for SAMD regulation, which seems vital given how global software is.
That's absolutely the goal. And what's really interesting is these global efforts, especially led by the IMDRF, they're pushing hard for harmonization of standards.
Yeah.
The aim is ambitious but clear: get innovation to patients and doctors safely, but also as quickly and efficiently as possible. Regardless of where the tech was made or where the patient is, it's about creating a smooth yet very robust path for these powerful tools across borders.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what SAMD is and sort of sophisticated regulatory net being woven around it. But guiding something this fast-moving through, well, sometimes slower regulatory channels must come with some major hurdles. Let's dig into those challenges. This seems like where that tightrope walk really happens.
You've hit on a crucial point there. The potential is huge, yes, but the path isn't simple. One of the biggest challenges is just the pace of technological change. Software evolves incredibly fast, right? Much faster than traditional medical gear. Traditional devices often have these long linear development cycles, sometimes years long. Software can have updates monthly, weekly even. So regulators constantly have to balance patient safety and effectiveness with not stifling innovation with processes that are too slow or outdated. It's this inherent tension between speed and safety. It's like trying to certify a brand new car model every single week.
Yeah, I can see that completely. New versions, updates, patches, fixes. It's just a totally different world from a physical device made the same way for years. What else are regulators grappling with when it comes to SAMD?
Another huge one is cybersecurity risk. No question. CMD often handles incredibly sensitive patient data, medical records, diagnostic images, personal treatment plans, you name it. So robust data protection, preventing unauthorized access, it's absolutely critical. Regulators aren't just looking for basic firewalls anymore. They're increasingly demanding proof of a secure software development lifecycle. Security needs to be built in from the start. Regular security audits, strong measures against breaches, these are non-negotiable regulatory requirements now. Patient data integrity and privacy have to be paramount.
And just getting these things to work smoothly within existing hospital systems, that must be a headache too, given how, well, fragmented healthcare IT can sometimes be.
Exactly. That's the third major challenge: interoperability. SAMD needs to work seamlessly with all sorts of other systems. Electronic health records, EHRs are a big one, other connected medical devices too. And it's not just about sharing data, it's about navigating complex standards, sometimes competing ones like FHIR or DICOM, making sure different systems speak the exact same language. Because if crucial information gets lost or misinterpreted between systems, well, the consequences could be serious. If a SAMD can't easily talk to a patient's health record or a wearable device, its usefulness drops dramatically. Getting these diverse systems communicating reliably is a massive technical and regulatory challenge.
It definitely sounds like a complex set of problems to solve, but our sources also suggest these aren't, roadblocks without solutions. There's a strong sense that robust regulatory frameworks are evolving, and technology itself can help address many of these issues. It's about adapting the rules to fit the tech.
Precisely. It's a continuous process, an iterative adaptation, really, driven by collaboration between the regulators and the innovators.
Okay, but let's shift gears now to the really exciting part, the immense potential. Despite the complexities, how is SAMD actually poised to revolutionize healthcare delivery? What are the big game changers we might see?
Oh, the potential is genuinely transformative. It holds the power to enable much more remote care, for starters. Think about facilitating early diagnoses right from a patient's home, supporting highly personalized treatment plans based on real-time data. Imagine someone in a rural area, maybe miles from a specialist, getting access to cutting-edge diagnostic support just through their tablet. This ability to cut down treatment delays, improve outcomes, especially for chronic conditions or even life-threatening ones, it's huge. It brings the clinic to the patient in a way.
And it feels like SAMD is the main engine driving AI and machine learning into everyday medical practice. We hear so much about AI, but how does SAMD specifically use it in medicine?
That's where it gets incredibly powerful. SAMD is really the vehicle bringing AI and ML directly into clinical workflows. These algorithms can scan enormous data sets, millions of records, images, finding subtle patterns humans might miss. Think about an AI-powered SAMD analyzing, say, a retinal scan from your phone. Not just looking for common eye problems, but maybe detecting faint, early signs of diabetic retinopathy or even neurological conditions years earlier than might otherwise be possible. It interprets data in real time, giving doctors advanced analytics, predictive insights to support their decisions. It's not about replacing the doctor. It's like giving them a superpowered assistant.
Augmenting human expertise, then. That makes a lot of sense. And connecting it with other tech, wearables, IoT, where does that lead?
That's where the ecosystem really comes alive. A truly connected health picture. SAMD applications get amplified massively when integrated with wearables and the broader Internet of Things in healthcare. Suddenly, your smartwatch isn't just counting steps. Combined with smart SAMD, it could be continuously monitoring vitals, detecting anomalies, analyzing sleep for signs of apnea, maybe even sending alerts to your doctor or triggering a personalized intervention plan automatically. It empowers patients with way more data to manage their health proactively and lets providers offer more responsive, data-driven preventative care, often without needing constant office visits.
It really paints a picture of a future where our devices are active partners in keeping us healthy. So, summing up the outlook. As regulations keep evolving to match the pace of innovation, we'll likely see more and more SAMD adopted, ultimately improving health outcomes globally. It feels quite optimistic.
I think justifiably so. To wrap it up, SAMD really does represent a transformative step in healthcare. It's delivering software-driven solutions that boost accessibility, efficiency, accuracy on a scale we couldn't imagine before. And it's happening under these evolving, robust regulatory frameworks from bodies like the FDA and IMDRF. These tools are constantly pushing the boundaries in remote monitoring, diagnostics, AI-driven care. We're really entering a new era of digital medicine. Software is becoming central to our health.
So, what does all this mean for you listening right now? As this tech advances so quickly, understanding it, navigating its regulation, it becomes essential, not just for the companies making it, but for all of us as future users. Maybe think about how SAMD could change your next doctor's visit or how you manage your own health day to day. What stands out to you as the biggest potential benefit, or maybe the most significant challenge as these smart software medical tools become more a part of our lives? We encourage you to reflect on the implications of this digital evolution in medicine. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into software as a medical device.